Pardon me?
Is that why you chose to come?
Yeah, I do, because of the traditions. I've been here a few times in the past, and we've had a lot of invitations to come. And the circumstances of the caucus state and the support I get here has lent itself for me to want to come here and spend yesterday and today.
Did you get out for your walk today?
No, I didn't do that, but that's why I'm a grouch tonight.
Have you seen a moose yet?
No, but my granddaughter went out. She had never seen a moose, and she went out, saw her moose for the first time, took a picture, and it was all white. So she didn't think it was a big deal. She showed it to somebody local. They said, "Wow, where did you see that? That's a special event." So her first moose that she saw, took a picture. It turned out to be a white one.
Dr. Paul, I think our second biggest creditor nation is Japan, next to China.
Right.
Japan has an earthquake and a tsunami, so we borrow money from Japan. We give them gifts to help them through their emergency, and then our children pay that debt back to Japan in the years ahead. When is the Congress going to realize that we're out of money? We can't afford to do that kind of thing.
I guess when we have runaway inflation. But you know what you describe, it reminds me of what we call it. It's a funny money system. It's funny, but it's really not funny. It's sort of tragic that we borrow money to give it back to them. I mean, it means it's inevitably going to fail. I mean, you just can't do that. And we've been doing it too long. But it's all based on this trust. We've gotten away with this idea that we have the reserve currency of the world. We literally are allowed to issue the gold. And they treat it like gold, and they put it in their bank, and they inflate on top of it. But it never has worked before, and it's not going to work. And I think I'm seeing the signs now that it's coming to an end. The European financial crisis over there, we've guaranteed that we would bail out. I think that is a big issue, and that could happen anytime now.
Dr. Paul, the other candidates are concentrating elsewhere in the country. You're the only one to make it here to Alaska. Do you think you're going to benefit from the fact that you're the only one to take the time and trouble to come?
Obviously, I want to do that, and Tuesday we're going to find out. So I think it's a good way. People not only, if you go to the places where you believe they have more agreement on what you're saying, that's always a help. But people also like personal attention. You know, the fact that you come, I think you get a couple pluses for that. So I hope that will help as well.
Dr. Paul, let's talk about Fairbanks. I heard there was a big crowd there. Can you just describe how that went?
Well, that went very well. We had, I think, over 1,000 people, and we didn't expect that many. Tonight we had a very nice crowd too, so I was very pleased. It's a good sign, and of course we have to keep reminding them, you know, coming out to the rallies and having fun and cheering us on is one thing, but we need to get them to the polls and work their way through the delegation process, and I have felt good both at Fairbanks and here in Anchorage that they will do that.
And do you think you have a special appeal to Alaskans?
Well, let's hope so, because they have been known to be rather independent-minded and free-spirited, and that's what my message is all about. Okay.
Dr. Paul?
Yeah.
I was wondering, was there a pivotal moment in your life that you decided to step up and change how the systems work? Like, what made you decide that it was all broken?
Yeah, in many ways, and it was the coming across the Austrian School of Economics, and they explain things differently. But I think I've always been inquisitive about what makes the world work, because I remember the people talking about the Depression and the recessions that we've had and the inflations and all this, and I wanted to understand that better. And I thought the Austrian economists explained this. So when they predicted that the Bretton Woods system would fail, and it did, on August 15th of 1971, I said, boy, these people know what they're talking about. And they've been right essentially on all their predictions since. And I have, concentrated on that. So it was probably in the 70s, and I didn't expect to have a political career. I didn't plan for it, didn't schedule for that. I love medicine. I kept practicing medicine. But I started speaking out, and more people started listening than I really had anticipated. And now I think the message is more necessary than ever before.
Well, thank you so
much. One last question from CBS. Sir.
Okay.
Dr. Paul, you say that you'd like to reduce America's foreign aid spending. Why and how much by?
Well, I don't think we should do any foreign aid. foreign aid is taking money from poor people in this country and for the most part giving it to rich people in poor countries, rich dictators in the various countries. The money never gets to the people. It's always justified that we got to help the people out. Well, it usually goes to the government, and they're usually the rich people in that country. But wealthy people don't really pay. They don't suffer, but the people here suffer from the inflation because usually we don't have the money, so we print the money. Inflation comes along, it hurts our middle class. So and I don't think we get anything for it. Some people try to justify it for national defense purposes, but it really doesn't. It just bankrupts our country. And there's no authority in the Constitution to give money away, to take money from you and give it to some government overseas. No matter how well intended it is, it's not a proper expenditure. We should be a free and prosperous society, and people who want to help other people, they should be able to do it voluntarily, but not by a tax code. Through the tax code.
One more question.
Right.
You didn't speak much about oil and gas during your talk. That's a huge business and
Right.
issue in Alaska, something all Alaskans are thinking about. Can you address that?
Well, obviously, I believe in the free market. We should have, no subsidies for anybody, but we should give tax credits and benefits, encourage all forms of energy to compete against each other, but give the tax benefits equally to everybody. In other words, don't subsidize, say ethanol from corn and not give the same benefits to other sources of energy. The market would solve that problem, and I'm for just deregulation. And as far as Alaska is concerned, I'd like to see Alaska making most of the decisions. Matter of fact, I've taken the position these states that have, the majority of their land owned by the federal government, under our system, the states should be in charge of that, either the state or actually private ownership. Texas, when Texas came into the Union, almost all the land was privately owned. It's a big state. It had a lot of natural resources, and the development of all that territory went pretty smoothly. Okay.
Thank you, folks.
All right.
What about the media blackout? You're
Pardon
media blackout. You're standing in front of Fox News, and no one seemed to report on you. I couldn't even find one article with your picture on it today. Could I get you to sign my one, Paul
Okay. Well,
I know it's
some
only,
people
I know it's only
come,
copper,
but still
but
some people come,
I still believe in
and we still have
sound money.
the internet too.
Where are you headed to next, Dr. Paul?
Idaho tonight. There you go.
All right, thanks again, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Hey, good to meet you.
Thank you, Rich.
Take care.